if your therapist had a podcast about you, what would it be called? Lucrative.
I mean, my therapist's a man, so he doesn't really take a lot of interest in me. So I feel like his title of a podcast about me would be like, it's Sophie, right? Sophie, what's it?
Mine, okay, either Crazy Sexy Cool in homage to TLC, or like Bottoming Out.
Bottoming out is actually so good.
A bottom's rock bottom, you know?
This person says, if you were to be a mythical creature, what creature would you want to be, and what would you actually end up being? I mean, obviously I'd want to be like a Pegasus. Yeah, like a flying horse, but I would be like, you know, a gnome or something.
Who was Puck in A Midsummer Night? He was like half
Oh,
goat,
a little
half...
goat. Yeah, fawn.
Fawn. I'd be a fawn.
You would be a fawn!
Right?
Oh my god!
Causing all sorts of shit, yeah.
I feel like I would like to be, and also would be, the gingerbread cookie from Shrek. My inside matches my outside.
All right, this guy wrote in, what is your favorite species of whale? Please note, killer whales are actually a species of dolphin, so that can't be your answer. And then, I didn't know that either. And then he continued, I do not want kids because I don't want to explain the difference between dolphins and whales. Look it up yourself. Then I got a text from another woman that says, I'm married to the guy who keeps texting about whales. Feel sorry for me.
We do.
We do.
We do.
We do.
But I do have a favorite whale. I think probably beluga, because without lashes, that's me. But I also like narwhals, because there's been a bunch of different times where I've been able to convince my American friends specifically that narwhals are not real. And I have a fun fact.
This is a really shitty way to find out, Sophie. This is a reference to one of my old jokes. Do you still want your partner to give up their dreams for you? Yeah. No, I want somebody with their own dreams now, I think. And I would like them to be working out, though.
Yeah, I want my partner to have their own dreams, their own friends, their own apartment,
Yeah.
their own life. I don't think I want a partner.
Yeah. Their own country, live somewhere else.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would be fine staying single if we all move into like a building together, if we commune.
Let's go.
Okay, that's what I'm saying, but then nobody responds to my Zillow text. What is your pre-show ritual? Ooh.
I slam a Celsius,
Yeah.
which is an energy drink, and I send out some nudes on Grindr.
Do you really? So
Usually.
like when you get off, there's something to come back to?
Yeah.
As like a reward for doing
you
a good
cast
job?
a net. Yeah.
That's so, I like to send, I'm not exactly the same, but in the past I have like sent out like an unhinged text and then put my phone on airplane mode to do my set.
Yes.
This is when I was dating straight guys and
Yeah.
you just want to say something crazy and then you like, you know, just walk out and you're unavailable for 90 minutes. And then you come off and they're mad and you're like, I was working. This person said, if you could have sex with anyone, who would it be? And then they wrote, dead people only.
That's so dark.
That's so dark,
But
right?
one of the best questions, honestly, that
Oh
we've
my
gotten.
god. Yeah. We were all talking about it backstage, and there's like obvious ones, right? Where you're like Heath
Like-
Ledger, like
yeah.
Paul Walker.
Paul Walker.
My
those are
grandpa. Just the obvious ones.
the obvious ones, of course. I want to say something, but I want to be like Joan of Arc or something.
She'd be a freak.
Yeah, like Amelia Earhart the day before. Like,
Mine's so dark, and I'll probably lose all of you, but that
Well, now
United
that
Healthcare CEO. And because he wouldn't enjoy it, you know? He'd think he's coming back from the dead. I'm like, nah, you're gonna squeal like a piggy.
His mouth's about to get united with your dick.
Delay, deny, dick down.
Whoa! New merch? New merch. When I was growing up Catholic, my parents told me condom was short for condominium. And I didn't realize that wasn't right until I was 16. Thank God I'm a lesbian now.
Okay, but to be fair, a condom is kind of a shitty home for your penis.
And so is a
condominium.
You're so right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah,
It just feels better in a regular house.
These two are heathens. They've never been religious ever. So they don't understand that we weren't allowed to do things growing up. Like, this person said they weren't allowed to wear red. This person said not allowed to watch Rugrats. Wasn't allowed to watch Sesame Street.
That really pisses me off.
That's crazy.
That pisses me off so much. Every single day we're like doing something and then I find out something wasn't allowed because of religion. Like truly every day we'll be like shopping and Taylor will be like, yeah, no, we weren't allowed to use doorbells. No, just because, Dad said that the doorbell is the clitoris of the house. So.
Cut to Taylor licking the doorbell.
Taylor's getting 2 fingers in the doorbell.
I'm like, this is so much easier than rubbing the chimney. It's right here. Oh my God. My clothing couldn't show my shoulders nor my belly button because it should be saved for my husband. And it was a sign of being easy. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what husbands like? Shoulders and belly buttons. Yeah. If you search that on like a porn website, they'd be like, no. You're doing porn wrong.
As a kid, instead of a magic 8-ball, we had a Pepto-Bismol pink Answer Me Jesus. That said things like, let me ask my dad. Yes, my child, and have faith. My grandmother, who gifted it to us, would be horrified to know that it ended up being a prop in my sister's production of Rocky Horror Picture Show. I need an Answer Me Jesus immediately.
And we gotta use it as like sex dice.
Yes, yes. Because one of the sides probably says like, get on your knees, you know? Or like, ask daddy, you know?
I was raised Catholic and we did the Oreo exercise instead of sex ed. Eat an Oreo, then use water as mouthwash and spit it back into the cup. Keep doing this. The Oreo represented sex, the gross water was my purity. And then they wrote, I'm a lesbian now, so my water is clear. Angel emoji. That is a new one. I have not heard that one. That is real gross. I did the sticker one where everyone took a sticker and they'd stick it on each one of you, and then by the end, or you go all around the circle, and then by the end, the sticker's not sticky anymore. And that's your heart on sex.
And that pisses me off because it's like the more sex you have, the stickier you are.
Right. It doesn't even make sense scientifically.
That pisses me off.
I attended a well-known religious university. I could have gotten expelled for my fiance even visiting my dorm room. She had to get a hotel room. I snuck out to spend the night with her. Best part was that the hotel gave discounts to students at that school. That's great. Oh my God. I was a Catholic altar server at 14 and I found out you can just buy communion wafers wholesale and the illusion was shattered. I wasn't allowed to say wicked because it invoked the devil. Living close to Boston, this was especially traumatic. Not being able to say wicked in Boston sucks. When I was in 4th grade, I went to a super Catholic school and you weren't allowed to talk about Santa because if you moved the letters around, it spelled Satan. That's incredible. I mean, I'm sorry, but holy shit. Okay, this was crazy. The worst thing about having kids is finding out that the nanny has been running an OnlyFans account and that your home is featured prominently in her photos. And then they wrote, of course, she is an excellent photographer and the pictures of the kids are great. Lighting and composition are exceptional, but you do have to fire her.
That's so funny. I mean, when you sell your house, you're gonna have good images.
They're like,
blur
does
her
she
out in
come
the
with
middle.
the house?
Yeah.
This person wrote, do I want kids? Hell yes, I want to be a baby machine. You are going to thrive under this administration. Oh, this person I feel like is Canadian. I lost my virginity at my house while the rest of my family was on a moose hunt.
That's racist. Don't laugh at that. I just got hate crimed and you laughed. You stood by.
Also, if this is two girls, she was on a moose hunt of her own.
I was 15 in the back of a limo, specifically the limo my Undertaker uncles used to bring grieving families to funerals. We took it to semi-formal the next day. Where is the most scandalous place you've had sex? Probably in like a car behind an antique mall.
As I mentioned, I was drunk for a long time, and I hooked up on a roof. Not one you stand on, a slanty roof.
You're such a Samantha. That just feels like something Samantha would have said. Just like, well, you can have sex on a roof if it's slanted. Just roll. Like,
Honey, gravity's on your side.
I gave my boyfriend a blowjob in a movie theater, but it took like a lot of convincing on my end. Because I wanted to. There was like nobody in the theater, and he just kept being like, we're gonna get arrested, something stupid. And so I had to invent an invention. It's kind of like, you know those like bib blankets that women use when they're like breastfeeding in public?
oh my God.
So it's like that, but for when I'm trying to blow my boyfriend in public. And it just like, went like over, you know, and then I was like under. And then it was like great, because if people came by and were like, you know, judgmental to us, he could just be like, what? She's hungry.
Good evening, sharks.
Good evening, sharks.
If you're sexualizing this, that's on you.
Oh my God. Oh, that's so funny. First time having sex at 18 in the backseat of my best friend's moving car on the highway with my boyfriend. Eminem's Lose Yourself blasted on the speakers. Then I suddenly realize I am allergic to latex and need to go to a roadside gas station to splash water on myself to stop the burning. I wish I knew I was queer sooner.
So literally one shot.
Also, I love that you were having sex in the back seat of a car on the highway, but you still used protection?
That's what I'm saying. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
They also have like bike helmets on.
When I die, I want to be cremated, then turned into a diamond, then into jewelry, so my future kids can keep me and my future grandkids can use me to barter when the economy collapses.
Soon.
That's a planner. That is a planner. This person said, I want to die sucking dick with a stuffy nose. That's deserved more.
That was also from me.
Oh my God, that's really
Breathing
funny.
through your nose is so important while giving a good beach, you know?
Yeah. Also while you're sleeping and stuff.
She's nodding modestly.
Do you ever put on like a breathe right strip?
I have like a CPAP machine on.
I worked in a nursing home where someone died right after she won the round of bingo. She yelled bingo, had a heart attack, and died. That's awesome.
She died on top. That was a good move. I like that.
Oh, that's really bad. Out later in life is bye to my dad while we were having a Harry Potter movie marathon. He hit pause and started listing all my female friends he thought I should date and said I shouldn't waste time with men anyways. What an ally. Is that why my dad didn't want me to watch Harry Potter? Also, funny way to find out which of your friends your dad thinks is hot. My coming out story is that I told my mom I might be queer 30 minutes before my confirmation into the Catholic Church. Just like in the parking lot, like, by the way, I don't know if this counts, but I got baptized when I was like 11? No, 9? Whatever.
They were probably just trying to drown you.
Wish they'd succeeded! My twin sister came out to me when we were 11. I was confused because my only exposure to queer people was the husbands on Modern Family, and she didn't act anything like them.
She can't be gay. She has no snappy dialogue.
I'll never forget telling my parents I was bisexual, and my mom cried, and my stepdad said, well, I could tell by the way you talk about Demi Lovato.
Not the dad being like a savage gay guy.
My queer awakening was kindergarten at a Thanksgiving pageant my school did. I was a spoon and had to chase the girl playing cranberry sauce. It was all downhill from there.
Oh my God. That's the cutest thing I've ever heard.
Robin Hood, Fox version they wrote. We knew it was the Fox version.
Mm-hmm.
What, the Kevin Costner version? No.
Yeah. Says my queer awakening is a tie between 1990s Gwen Stefani and my female best friend on a ladder cleaning my gutters for me. My queer awakening was realizing that not every kid treated their Ken dolls like disposable plot devices. Mysterious disappearances, tragic accidents, wrongful imprisonments, all just so my Barbies had to move in together and raise their plastic children as life partners. Turns out I wasn't just a dramatic storyteller. I was bi but loved WLW stories. That's incredible.
That's so funny. Were you allowed to play Barbies?
Yeah. I know!
What?
Because they were what a woman should look like.
Oh.
No, that's a joke. No, I can't believe we were allowed to play Barbies either, actually.
Did you make your Barbie scissor?
I don't remember what we made our Barbies do, but I know that we popped the head off of Ken, and then the floating disembodied head was like the villain in most of the story. This is a great story. I think my queer awakening was during an all-girls foursome with a bunch of women I worked with in a spa. We're all massage therapists and very good with our hands. We didn't hook up in the spa, but we should have.
I mean, you didn't have a suspicion on your way to the foursome?
The thing about an all-female foursome is like, maybe it's just a sleepover until the last possible second.